Hi everybody, Raging back with another Mechabellum video. Sometimes you start to lose and you really need to pivot, and I just played this game and it features a really crazy pivot, so just wanted to show you guys this one. Let's get into it. So our opponent here is Mutevo, and he is a cost control specialist. I'm an aerial specialist in this one. We're starting with sledgehammers and arc lights. My opponent is starting with steel balls and crawlers. Looks like he's setting up here in the back. We're still figuring out where we're going to be putting our units. I'm going to sort of just blow through like the front end of this game and get to the part where we really start to pivot, because it really gets pretty crazy. So my opponent on round one has decided to go with the wasps. He is cost control specialist, so he can afford to get the wasps since he starts with 300. Not sure if he's afraid of us going into the round one wasp or not, for why he decided to do that, but he did decide to do that, and it will win because we don't have any anti-air, and we're sort of just setting up hard on the left side, and he's in the middle and all the way back. So we are able to clear a lot of the chaff here, and we should be able to take out these steel balls. And I think we'll even be able to make it to tower, but the wasps will win the round for him. This game starts to get pretty crazy right around the middle of the game. So like I said, we're able to like clear most of his ground units, but the wasps will get us here. And that's round one. So on round two, we have some more choices here, and I always really enjoy redeployments, and so does my opponent. Grabs redeployment. Opponent grabs 2 packs of Stormcallers on round 2 here, and that will be basically his entire turn. Maybe he'll use the redeployment. Yep. Let's see where he redeploys these wasps. Okay, so he's going to redeploy here and just try to take the tower. Looks like I'm still deciding. I'm probably deciding between quick teleport and redeployment, but do take redeployments because it's a very high utility. And so I grab a couple fangs here. Just maybe those will be able to take out the wasps at the end. And we already did well on the ground last round, so see how this goes. But now with the Stormcallers, the fangs will get annihilated in the front here. And we redeploy some tanks over to his shallow flank on the right. So that will distract the wasps a little bit, but also decide to put the fangs back instead of in the front. Hopefully they'll be able to take out the wasps at the end. So we do take the tower on the right because of the distracting sledgehammers, and now the crawlers on the right are also able to take out the steel balls, but the Stormcallers are just a little too much into our board. And so we'll also lose round 2. Relatively small losses, though. And we do have high HP since we went with the aerial specialist. Okay, so this is where it really starts to get a little bit crazy. Round 3, the Overlord is offered, and so I take it, and so does my opponent. And my opponent runs a little bit different techs. He runs the range enhancement, whereas I run the jump drive. So he cannot jump drive his boats, whereas I can. I also have redeployments. And I've redeployed my tanks here that were in front of my arc light over here to the left. So now I have some flanking tanks here and some flanking tanks here. And the newly added boat I am sticking here, just trying to decide how to spend the rest of the cash this turn. Opponent also grabs Overlord and actually grabs another Overlord, so now he has 2 Overlords to our 1. Is redeploying some crawlers as well from the back into the front here. And then I grab a Wraith because of the wasps. Wraith, since I can unlock it for free as aerial specialist, I'm just hoping it would be able to kill the wasps should he beacon them to my tower here. And then I also just pick up some crawlers and throw them on the shallow flank here on the left. And I also decided to grab speed because I want to try and kill these Stormcallers quickly. But since he added the Overlords here on the right, the Wraith will not do very well. Maybe kill a couple wasps, but we'll definitely just get shot down. So left side here is going a little bit better for us with the extra crawlers and the Overlord. But this is a lot to deal with on the right. So we do take out pretty much everything here on the left. The crawlers, arc lights, overlord. But at the end here, these boats and wasps are just too much for our one overlord to handle. So we'll also lose round 3. Like I said, there's a mid-game pivot that is coming. And I've never played a pivot quite like it before. Actually, not too bad of a round. We actually kill that overlord there and only take a little bit of damage. So on this round 4, we're offered deployment module. So we're going to be getting quite a few opportunities to be redeploying units in this game. I'm going to take every redeployment I can get to avail us with the pivot, because usually when you pivot, what you have to do is you have to like start selling off units to fund the defense, maybe, or however you're going to pivot. But with all these redeployments, we can actually just keep our units on the board and just deploy them to like better places that suit us better. So on this round, I grabbed some wasps, since I can also unlock them for free. And I'm just going to try and take this tower to assist with the rest of our units. And so now I have 2 overlords on the left side here. He has 2 overlords on the right. And I'm sort of just, I want to get rid of this tower so that our overlords on the left can try and do a lot of work. Also, since we have the sledgehammers, we can maybe potentially be taking out stormcallers. I also use the deployment module and put it on the Wraith to assist with the tower taking here in the center, which turns out to be decent because we'll also have the chaff clear to take out these crawlers here that he just added to the center. Grabs himself a mobile beacon, doesn't want to keep getting distracted by my tanks. I also redeployed the tanks that were on the shallow flank here to the middle of his flank to help better take that tower. But he's just going to beacon away. I also decided to add the overlord to the push here in the center. Let's see how this goes. Takes attack enhancement. So we do distract some of these guys. They get pulled back to these tanks, but his units are a little faster than mine at getting to the tower here. And now his overlord is already shooting our overlord, so yeah, we really need to start changing some things up here. It's not going great for us. And yeah, so we'll lose this round pretty much the same way as the last one, since he still has the 2 overlords alive. We just have the 1. It is a decent time to take the tower here to at least be able to get more of his units dead before we kind of get smoked. But we do take 2 overlords worth of damage here. So this is really not going well for me in this one. I'm trying to match his overlords, but it's really not working out. So I decided I'm not going to meet his overlords head on anymore in this game. So on round 5, we get some units here. And since he's already in the boats, and they seem to be my main problem in this game, I'm gonna pivot away with the marksman, and he actually grabs the marksman as well. He sets them here in the center of his board, and I'm really thinking, because I'm like, what am I gonna do here? And at this point I've decided. So let's see how I use these marksmen. I immediately hit level 4 tower here. So this is where the pivot begins, and I've never really played a pivot quite like this one, and it gets really wild really quickly here. So he is still opting to beacon to our tower, and for that reason, I've decided to hit level 4 so that they will get stuck here, and we'll have the marksman behind the tower, ideally taking these guys out. The only problem that we still face is the steel balls. They still will be able to suck the life out of this tower, and so I need to sort of beef up the chaff clear here, and I decide to redeploy the overlord back as well, because I really just need to be able to take out the steel balls before they kill my tower, and then the rest of his units will be stuck shooting the tower, and we should be able to kill them. If I take anti-air on the marksman, I'm going to jump drive the wasps to steal this tower here, again, which will hopefully slow the push that's been getting me most of the game, give us enough time to take it out. Grab a couple crawlers here, and I'm going to be adding them to the center and the side as well to further distract his units. Also add another pack here in front of the marksman, so let's see how this goes now. So we have a level 4 tower here. He didn't really do anything about the push that it did last turn in the center. It's a little surprising. I guess he just is betting that this will be a better push for him. Now, the Wraith does push a little bit too far forward here. And like I said, the steel balls are now latched, and that's what we were really trying to stop. But we do take the tower. But without the Wraith, we can't clear these crawlers quick enough. And so that one steel ball actually is able to take down this tower, unfortunately for us. So it didn't quite work like I was hoping. And we do kill this Overlord that he added out here on the side. But we're still basically losing in the same way that we have been losing. We're still going to lose to these two Overlords. And yeah, they're on our tower here. Also, he has the high-level marksman. Takes out our Overlords, and so we lose basically to these two Overlords yet again. So now that I have like my plan in place with this level 4 tower, I really just need to make sure that I'm clearing all of his units, and this should start to work for us. On this round, we took the underground threat here. Opponent took the tank production line to stick on to his Overlord here on the left. And I've jump drive my Wasps here off of the flank, and I'm going to go take this tower this time. So it's a lot of these Wasp plays to help take towers and buy time. And this board is already, it's so spread out and like nutty looking. Definitely a lot different than what I'm used to playing. So now I'm abandoning the front left side. I have the chaff clear with the arc lights. They're actually not that bad that I just leave them there. I'm opting to missile out his chaff since that's what allowed the steel balls to live long enough to take my tower last time. And now we have two Overlords back here as well to help assist. I decided to grab two more marksmen and stick them here on the left side. Hopefully take out any Overlords. Also, immediately go to level 4 on this tower. So I have two level 4 towers, and most of my anti-air units are behind my tower. This is now my plan, right? My plan has come into clear view here. We have max level towers. Hopefully he can no longer just take our towers. And while he's trying to knock our towers down, hopefully all our units will stay behind the towers long enough to kill his guys. So he's actually adjusting from last round also to just beacon all the way across the board to this tower. But now this tower is level 4, so this actually won't work as well for him anymore. And also this underground will really not be that bad since he doesn't have a lot of chaff clear on the back. Let's see how we start to go now. Now that he also has no chaff here in the front, we should be able to take out his steel balls. And we've taken out his tower with the Wasp Rush. And let's see if we can finally, for the first time in the game, get these Overlords dead. And these are high-level marksmen that are already locked on to his Overlords, so we really should be able to. He also added an Overlord in the back and some Wasps as well. So we're still going to lose to two Overlords, but now it's on the left side. So now that we have all of the marksmen that we need, what we really need is Wasp clear. So that's going to be Mustangs. So we're taking the haste module because the plan is Mustangs, like I said. Decide to sell the Wraith, since the Wraith was for the Wasps, and we're going to pivot into a new Wasp killing unit. Brought my Wasps back since I don't think I'll be able to cheese the towers anymore. And at this point, I'm just sort of all-inning on these towers here. Loaning and elite recruiting, triple recruiting level 2 Mustangs. And one of them has the haste module. And so I feel like I'll put the haste module one here on the right. That way, if my units do push ahead of my level 4 tower, at least this one is the most protected. I also have some Mustangs here on the left and some Mustangs in the center. Just deciding how to use my redeployment and my deployment module, which is freed up since we sold the Wraith. I'm throwing down lots of missiles, which it seems like it's sort of like inefficient from an economy standpoint, but it's really actually not that bad in this position since the main problem that I'll be facing is crawlers, and I really just need to take them out because if his units ever get stuck shooting my level 4 towers, we have everything that we need now to take out like all of his units. I decided to bring the deployment module onto the sledgehammer and deploy it back in front of our tower. So we're sort of just moving all of our units off of the flanks that were there and moving them back in front of our towers so that the rest of our units will be able to take out his flying guys. And he's still getting more overlords. I guess he's sort of just planning on clicking that mothership button at a certain point, but now we do have the Mustangs. And with the addition of the Mustangs, we do have the clear on the Wasps, and now it's starting to go really well for us. Once we get rid of everything on the ground and the Wasps, we also have the anti-air marksmen that are basically one-shotting his overlords now as well. And he has not leveled his towers, which we are now just beginning to take. These Stormcallers are not as relevant as they once were when they were shooting tanks. We have many Mustangs for him to try to take out. And so now we finally take a round on round 7. It's taken a while, but with this crazy pivot that we've been doing here, it's finally started to work for us. And so again, remember, in the beginning of this game, we had lots of units in the front left and on his flanks. And you can kind of see it's a little bit sparse now in the front. All of our units have been pulled back with the assistance of this redeployment and this deployment module. And so he's probably just really deciding what he wants to do here now. He's gone for the Fire Badgers as just a free unit on this round. And none of these look particularly great. I don't necessarily need Typhoon since I already have anti-air on the Marksmen and the Mustangs. And so I might just want to sell a unit, and the Typhoon's worth the most, so I sell that one. He grabs the Fire Badgers, I guess, because he really wants to take out our Mustangs on the ground and the Crawlers. And I just decide to go totally unhinged, and I grab 2 War Factories here. I take a loan, and then I click anti-air. So now his overlords, all the shots, basically, with these 2 War Factories, we should pretty much be able to block every single shot that comes out of these overlords with these War Factories. And I have not played War Factory anti-air a lot against boats as a defense, but this works super well. I've redeployed the sledgehammers from the flank back here to the front of this tower now. So we pretty much have all our units pulled back at this point. And because I bought 2 War Factories and I also don't run efficient, our board will be taking 400, we have 400 less supply because we have 2 War Factories, but I'm betting that we have enough units now at this point that it won't really make a difference. I also beacon across the board here with this War Factory because that's what he kept doing with the Overlords, but he actually pulls back this time instead. He's also got napalm on the Fire Badgers, so that's why he pulled his units back, because he wanted my Mustangs to run through the fire. But the Mustangs are actually staying back far enough where it's not really making much of a difference. And we're blocking literally every shot with these War Factories, which is buying so much time for the Marksmen and Mustangs to kill all the units in the sky. And actually, these War Factories are not like taking any shots either. And so we'll actually make it to the tower. And we'll like get his tower down. And the right side has gone great. So we did lose a lot of our units, but we were able to kill everything. And so now he's taking 2 full factories worth of damage here on this turn. And again, things are going much better for us. Now, there's a huge difference in supply. He has 1,900 and we have 1,000. I think at this point, he should probably buy some melters. On this round, we get another redeploy. So we have 2 redeployments and a deployment module. Now I'm pulling back some crawlers. I want them in the back now. Just take all I can get since these were just running into these Fire Badgers. I'll also opt now to take anti-air on Mustangs and level them all up. I'm starting to sell the Overlords for money since I really, really desperately need it with the addition of these expensive upkeep War Factories. And so I'm just deciding how to go forward from here. What do I really need, right? It seems like he just has, he's taken ground cannon now on the Overlord to, you know, they can't block the Overlord, the anti-missile War Factory, so he thinks that that's going to work a lot better for him here, I guess. But we can really just, I put down a couple missiles to kill some more of his crawlers, but we really just need more Mustangs at this point anyway. And the mothership on the Overlord also, we have way too many Mustangs for that to really make much of a difference. And we loan and take temp range, And I just grab a couple shields here. And I still can afford one more pack of crawlers. So our opponent has some more fire badgers here. He has some like decently high level steel balls, and he really just keeps going harder into the overlords. I was just a little worried about him like hitting range on steel balls and getting more of them, or like getting melting points. So that's why I put down these couple shields. But with the addition of the extra Mustangs and the extra range with the anti-air, we're able to stay back from his napalm with on the fire badgers, and very swiftly and quickly actually take out all of his wasps and air units. And even though he's starting to ping down our war factory here with the ground cannon, we still have super high level marksman alive, and he has like nothing left. So it's a pretty decisive round here for us as well. He also takes a full overlord and war factory worth of damage, and that like almost kills him. So if our war factory on the right had lived, the game would already be over. So now I'm really just trying to finish it off. There's another underground threat. So there's been 2 underground threats, and actually underground threat is up this turn as well. So we'll have the benefit of having 2 underground threats on the board this round, as well as having 2 redeployments and the deployment module. So all of these redeploys and underground threats are, I just thought this game was really crazy, with the ability for me to not have to sell off my units and instead just pull them all back like I have here. So opponent has decided to grab the underground threat as well and sort of stick it in the back here. Wants it to distract my units and maybe kill marksmen and some Mustangs. I decided to put both undergrounds here in the center of his board. Since he doesn't have lots of chaff clear, I'm hoping that with all of these crawlers, they might be able to get to the towers. We do have good levels on these Mustangs now as well. And we have 900 more supply to spend. I sell the other overlords, now we have 1,300 to spend. Just decided to grab another war factory because why not? Like, my war factory on the right died last time, so I'll just have 2 this time instead. I decided to take mech rage on the crawlers so that maybe they'll be faster at getting to the tower with the 2 undergrounds coming out of the ground over there. And then I also grab 2 more packs of crawlers. I decided to make another shield for the center here, and then I put down a couple missiles to take out some of his chaff. So here we go. This is the final round. So we are able to clear some crawlers with some missiles here, and you can see we're shooting down all the shots from the overlords, which he has very many overlords at this point. And we have all of our Mustangs and anti-air marksmen alive here in the back. And it looks like it's like almost enough to start to overwhelm the war factories, but we have so many units alive, and the anti-air marksmen are doing so much damage to his boats that this will be game. He just doesn't have enough at this point. He has too much stuff in the air and not enough stuff on the ground, so the war factories just kind of blow through everything and block all the shots from the sky, and then our Mustangs and marksmen take out the rest. Yeah, analyzing the board here at the end, you can see we have all of the anti-air Mustangs and anti-air marksmen back here. I never even really grabbed the levels on the marksmen. I figured the addition of the level 1 ones, it would probably be nice to hit the level 2, but we really had enough anti-air, and I never even hit the levels on these marksmen. Couldn't really afford it with the addition of the anti-missile war factories, which at the end we did end up having 3, and we also had 2 redeployments. So you can see we had we had 3 units on the flank here at one point, and multiple units on the flank over here at another point, and we've just pulled all of them back into the middle center, like the sledgehammers and the rest of my crawlers that were flanking. And these arc lights actually held the line relatively well for, like, pretty much, this guy got the most individual kills. This arc light that level 1 just sat here and killed a bunch of crawlers every single time. Yeah, I really haven't played like any game like this before. This is definitely the craziest boat defense I think I've played in a long time. Just max leveling these towers, because really the boats benefit most from taking the towers quickly. So if he can't rely on taking my towers, it kind of takes their ability away. Or at least, he wasn't really sure how to react to it, I guess. He decided that the napalm and range on the fire badgers might put enough fire on the ground, and if he pulled his boats back, maybe my Mustangs would run through it, but they never really ended up doing that. So yeah, I just wanted to show you guys that game real quick, since while I was playing it, I really wasn't sure how it was going to work. I just knew it was a totally unhinged way of playing, and it ended up working out for us. Maybe it'll also inspire some creative boat defense games for you guys. So I hope you all enjoyed the video. Thanks very much for watching and for sticking around to the end. If you liked it, drop a like, a sub, a comment. It really helps out the channel. With the holidays, I might be a little bit busy over the next week or so I might not be able to put out as many videos as I do, but I will try to put out as many as I can. Until next time, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next one. Have a fantastic day. Bye-bye.